Activism and art, music, it's like blood molecules in the same vein. Art has a responsibility to push conversations. Art has a responsibility to challenge dominant narratives, right? To shift the way we see each other outside of the stuff that we just absorb in the media and absorb in these political debates, right? Whether it's on a wall, whether it's like down in a sweaty, musty basement. Art should be the call to revolution. My journey to becoming a musician is actually really interesting. My cousin's husband was trying to get her to quit smoking. And so he was like, for every cigarette you break, I'll give you $1. And then I stepped on a whole pack and he refused to pay me and he gave me a little tiny keyboard. And that was when I first started writing songs. It was on this little keyboard in Brooklyn, New York. So I grew up in a very like musical household. We were like the Black Poor Brady Bunch. Like we'd be in like the busted station wagon and anything happens, we're gonna make up a song about it. Like, oh, we're late to school. Like, boom, boom, we're late to school. I was living with my mother and we were gentrified out of New York. We just couldn't afford it anymore. And so we moved south to Virginia. And then later I moved to Durham when I met Subba. Subba's my wife and we met through art. I was performing and she had an art installation. It's really easy to find folks that are willing to make space and home for you in a way that's really unique and different from living in New York, which is like a lot more fast-paced, a lot more transactional. You know, I like that in the South I could walk down the street and run into my mayor and my city council person and like the person at the grocery store, and we could have like a really beautiful, authentic conversation. I appreciate that. When I had this idea of having a radical, queer, Muslim punk band, I felt like I was in the right political time and in the right place for that to happen. The music scene, the art scene, the community is like really opening and really welcoming to brand new and difficult subjects. And the response has been really beautiful. People have been like hands down on board for this level of ruckus. My kid's 7 now, and they really like the music. Actually, the set list that we're playing tonight, Asher helped to co-create. I was just feeling really antsy, and I felt like it was really important to speak more urgently about what was happening. I had, for a long time, played acoustic guitar, did political stuff, but more so beat around the bush, more so in like these really approachable ways of having difficult political conversations. There's just a lot of like disgruntled working class, middle class, black folks, trans folks, like Muslim folks, Jewish folks. We can't like be soft about these conversations anymore. I was having a conversation with Farah, who plays drums, and I was just like, yo, like, what if I started a Muslim punk band? And he was like, are you serious? Are you serious? Bro. We got together and just jammed around, and it was just like the first time that I musically was able to just like say and feel all of the levels of joy and goofy and excitement and like rage and anger. There is something actually really punk about claiming and holding on to my Muslim identity, my black identity, my queer identity. So much of the music that we know and love in North Carolina has black roots. So much of the roots of punk are really black. I feel like we, the Muslims, are walking in a long legacy of like Southern, radical, black protest music. Our stuff is just like laced with like really strong political statements and a lot of humor coding it. Folks outside of North Carolina have been really receptive and like open and really down for the Muslims. And even with all of that, Nothing really feels as good as like playing in North Carolina because of like the rich history of like music and protest music and political music and the diversity of music in North Carolina. People receive it in ways that feel like so genuine and so familiar. Nothing hits like North Carolina. I'm Laila Nur. Come here, North Carolina.
Eid Mubarak. 1, 2, 7.